but yet it made me feel good. Another thing, some years ago, this is probably about 18 years ago, my wife worked for the former mayor of Independence. He was 90 years old when she started working with him. He lived till he's 95. Whenever he'd go to the hospital, I'd go visit him. I'd pray for him and he'd cry like a baby. Then he'd apologize for crying. See, you don't have to apologize. He told my wife, he says, I don't understand. Every time your husband comes to pray for me, I cry like a baby. She said, well, Pete, that's because the Spirit of God's touching you. He said, oh, okay. And he says, you know, I want you to know something. He said, over the years, many clergy members has come to see me and said, your husband is the first member of the clergy that ever came to me and prayed for me without asking for money. The man's a millionaire. He was a millionaire. But the priest and the different members of the clergy, they would go to him for financial benefits.
Oh.
That broke my heart. I was proud to say I was the one who was concerned about his soul, but it broke my heart that all the members, for 90-some years, all the members of the clergy that this man had known didn't come to him because they were concerned about his soul. They come to him because they were concerned about their pocket.
Wow, money.
That's sad.
Root of all evil.
And I'll be honest with you, I probably need the money worse than any of them do. But that's not what this is about.
No.
Because see, I serve God, and I know the God I serve will provide the finances.
Amen.
I know He'll meet my needs.
Amen.
Amen.
You better believe it.
I mean, I go to dinners all the time with my hand out, and he just shakes it. He slaps me 5.
That's funny.
It says, listen to this. What does a prophet, my brother, know a man say have faith and have not works? Can faith save him? Can that faith save him? Can faith without action save him? Now we know that we can't put action to our faith when we're believing for something. How many of you know what I'm talking about? We can't be asking God for something and then let everyone know we have a need. Are you listening? Now, I'm not talking about in the church setting. Because there are times in the church setting we say, hey, we have a need. We're going to take up an offering for whatever. I'm talking about, I knew a brother that he would say, oh, don't worry, God's going to provide. And then he'd go around telling everybody he knew had money that, he was in need. Because he knew eventually someone's going to feel bad for him and give it to him. Hello? That's not faith, folks.
No.
Somebody asked me recently, said, would you call so-and-so and ask them if they would help me out with something? I said, no, I'm not going to call them. Why? I said, because I don't do that. I don't call and ask people for money. I'm not going to ask them for me. I'm sure not going to ask them for you.
Right.
Amen. I said, that's not trusting God.
No.
When you trust God, God moves. Did God not move for you? Amen. We trusted God and He moved, right? Are you listening to me? Amen. I learned that a long time ago when my pastor told this church that they had no food. Absolutely no food in the house. They placed a big bowl in the middle of the table. Him, his wife, and 5 or 6 kids surrounded the table, grabbed hands, and started thanking God for the food they were about to receive. While they had their eyes closed, the lady upstairs walked down the steps, opened their door, had a pot of soup, and poured it in that bowl.
Oh my goodness.
That's faith.
Yep.
Let me tell you another man. I didn't know this man personally, but I heard this story on the radio many years ago, probably 30 years ago. God spoke to a man, told him, sell your business, sell your home, take everything and put it in the ministry, pack your family up, go down to the docks, get a ticket, and go to Africa and preach the gospel. The man's down there with his wife and children standing in line and had not one penny because he sold everything and gave it all away. Not one penny. The line was long. Thank God it gave him time to work up his faith, because by the time he went down one at a time, he's down and there's one person in front of him purchasing their ticket. Fear started to take his hold on his heart. Right as the person in front of him walked away, they tapped him on the shoulder and handed him the money. He said, "This is your fare." He paid the fare, went to Africa. No one there to expect him. Yet when he got there, he was greeted by a local pastor to take him in, to give him a place to stay and help him to establish his missionary ministry. That's God.
Yes.
That's God. And that's what faith is.
Yes.
Faith is trusting God without having to manipulate the system. Can I say that again?
Yes.
Trusting God. You don't have to manipulate the system. You don't have to say, "I need money, Jack. Jack, you know, I'm really in need, Jack."
Believe me, God
provides.
will make
Make a way.
provide for me, and believe
right.
I'm doing good.
That's right.
And I was in church when all that money got stolen.
That's right.
I was in church when it
God's
got
replacing
stolen.
it though.
God,
In the 15th verse it says, "If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, Depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding you give them not those things which are needful to the body, what do it profit?" You say you have faith, but yet you can't even reach out and help someone. Now, I'm not talking about when you're in the same situation they're in. I'm talking about when you see someone in need and you have the means and you don't help. We've had people come here wanting food, and I'm like, why do you come to a place that has, I can't even get 20 people here. Go someplace where you have a better chance of receiving. But I want you to know something. Every time they've ever came here, we've helped them.
Right.
There was some that didn't need the help, some that didn't deserve the help, but we helped them. And then we found out that they were scamming us and came back for more, and we sent them on the road.
Amen.
Amen?
That's right.
But there are some that came here that was truly in need, and we've helped them. Didn't have the money, but we joined together. We pooled our money. Amen? Amen. Even so, faith, if it had not works, is dead, being alone. I want to say something else. I want to reverse this. Just as faith without works is dead, works without faith is dead. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Some people, there's a lot of good foundations that do good works. Feed the poor, clothe the naked, house the homeless, but they don't know Jesus.
No.
Their works are beneficial for this world. Their works will get accolades of this world, but it'll never get approval from God. Amen?
Amen.
Our relationship with Jesus is the most important thing that we'll ever have. Amen? And our relationship with Jesus is what causes us to have compassion on the poor, compassion on the hungry, to try to help someone, to reach out to those that are in need, to touch lives for eternal purposes, not just for a temporary purpose of feeding their stomach. We can fill your stomach, you'll be empty tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
But if I fill your stomach and then fill your heart with Jesus, amen. Somebody says, if you give a man a fish, he'll be hungry tomorrow. But if you teach him the fish, he'll never go hungry.
Right.
Well, in the spiritual sense, we need to fill him with Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
It says, yea, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I'll show you my faith by my works. Let me tell you something. I've had people tell me over the years, when I used to drive a cab,